Welcome to lesson 070 of Online School of Entrepreneurship. I am Dr. Kirian Mfam. In today's lecture, we will dwell on how to encourage entrepreneurial spirit among the young generation. Upon completion of this lecture, our audience will be able to explain how to encourage entrepreneurial spirit among the young ones. The importance of youth entrepreneurship is undeniable. This is because of the importance of entrepreneurship in the life of every individual. Yet, sometimes teachers do not know how to properly promote entrepreneurship among the youth. This is one of the factors why students are discouraged or demotivated in studying entrepreneurship. These days, instant gratification has become ever more popular among the youth culture. Easy access to what I want, instant movies, instant social media, instant stardom, and instant results. So these days, the youth population is concerned about what they will get in the immediate, without looking at how to prepare the present so that the future can be good for them. They want immediate satisfaction in anything they do. They want to have immediate results. They want instant solution. So how do you overcome the value of youth entrepreneurship on the one hand, and the culture of I want it my own way or no way on the other? You could encourage young people to start their own businesses by providing them with the necessary resources and knowledge. Generally, entrepreneurship as an activity cannot be commenced without resources and technical know-how. So the first equipment the first capacity to look out for is availability of resources, as well as the technical know-how, the knowledge to harness these resources in an entrepreneurial venture. So the youth population needs to be given the resources together with the required knowledge in order to promote the entrepreneurial spirit in them. You can do this through various initiatives such as mentorship programs, internship programs, or even working towards creating a business incubator. All these programs or strategies are designed to put the youth population in studying entrepreneurship through entrepreneurship. And that's what we call learning by doing. The answer to this question, how to encourage entrepreneurial spirit in young generation, is very simple. This is because the first and most important thing to do to encourage entrepreneurial spirit among the young ones is to give them a sense of purpose. Giving them a sense of purpose means guiding them towards a direction that would be beneficial to them if they engage in entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur is someone who creates value by starting or running a business. So it's very important that they have something they are passionate about. So in giving them the sense of purpose, in guiding them towards a direction, that it is important for them to know that by so doing, they will be availing themselves to establish and run their own personal businesses. The entrepreneurial mindset is not a thing that can be thought out in a 6-month course, as many universities are now trying to prove that they are working on developing new entrepreneurial spirits. Entrepreneurial spirit cannot be taught within 6 months following the university system, because it is a gradual process that takes time. It is an enculturation process where you go and learn new values, new business values, new values of life, new economic values. So it will take some time to build this culture of entrepreneurship, thereby developing a sustainable entrepreneurial spirit. Entrepreneurship is about action and not that much about just creating about business plans and going to the theory. And young generations are already smart to understand that. The young ones are very familiar and aware that entrepreneurship is not a matter of theory. That is why most complaints in the universities is that students who are forced or asked to study entrepreneurship courses as general studies courses complain that it does not meet their interest. This is because the emphasis is placed on theory instead of putting the students through entrepreneurship. Those young generations who already had the chip inside and are developing the entrepreneurial mindset, their own entrepreneurial spirit will turn on and eventually make them move towards their personal goals. Among the youth culture, the youth population, we have a group that is already aware of the importance of entrepreneurship. And so they begin to build their mindset towards becoming entrepreneurs. And this is what will lead them to their personal goals to become successful entrepreneurs. Activities in universities might help as an introduction, but creating new businesses is a whole real experience where younger generations must learn how to deal with taxes, employees, converting leads into customers, filling out governmental requirements, contracts, advertising, and more. So what the university is doing, as well as other tertiary institutions, is to introduce students to the concept of entrepreneurship, giving them a solid theoretical base upon which they will now migrate from theory to practice, so that they will be able to have a sound footing when they begin to engage in entrepreneurial practices. Tips for creating entrepreneurial spirit from a young age. Entrepreneurship tip 1. Think inside the box, because the box is empty while everyone else is outside the box. The whole concept of thinking outside the box leaves a vacuum inside the box. So the first step is to think inside the box. Is to think inside the box. Now, kids need to understand that innovation doesn't mean you must come up with a newer, before ever seen business idea or product. That is not innovation. Innovation does not mean that you will create something from the blues. Innovation can mean adding value to what has been in existence. So they need to know this, so that the fear of not being able to create something new entirely will not distort their entrepreneurial spirit. It can also mean doing something that already exists in a little bit better. That is what we just explained. Once children understand that innovation is not an insurmountable mountain, they may stop being afraid of entrepreneurship. So the young ones must be informed that entrepreneurship is as simple as any activity that one has interest to do. No, you don't have to have a good one of a kid idea or product to succeed. That is not it. It doesn't mean that you must have a first-class idea before you become an entrepreneur. You just need to do something that the other guy already does better, faster, and cheaper. So if you can identify a product or service that is already in place, you can add value by doing it better, by doing it faster, and by delivering it cheaper. Entrepreneurship tip number 2. What do you want to be when you grow up is the question you must start with. When you are engaging your children to bring them to entrepreneurial limelight, start by asking them the question, what they would like to be in future. What would they like to be? That question will generate a number of answers, such as a doctor, mommy, a fireman, daddy, a spaceman, grandma, a pilot, grandpa, iron man, auntie. All answers we expect to hear and do here. So it will be quite a shock to a parent system if little Johnny says, I want to become an entrepreneur, mommy. But kids need to realize that this is a career option and a viable one at that, if it is approached correctly. The emphasis here is that we need to let our children know that entrepreneurship is a career path, it's a career option, that if successfully executed, it will bring you into limelight as an individual and member of a society. Of course, some children grow up in entrepreneurial households where mom and or dad own their own businesses. And to these kids, I say, wow, you are already light years ahead of your peers. This is because as their parents, the father and the mother, engage in their entrepreneurial ventures, their children learn through the process. As they see their parents do act, that is how they will also act. 3. Entrepreneurship tip number 3. It is sad that business leaders will complain that they can't find qualified workers with so many unemployed. It is very sad to hear that in all the quantity of unemployed graduates, employers will claim that they lack qualified personnel. Yes, it is sad, but it is not going to change. The sooner this reality is faced, the better. That being said, successful entrepreneurs can create jobs for the unemployed. Perhaps not the qualified accountant or actuarial job types, but jobs nonetheless. Ask yourself, do you want your child to be book smart or street smart as well? This is very critical, because when students pass through tertiary institutions with well-loaded certificates that cannot be translated into jobs or business or organizational functionalities, it becomes a problem. So it is therefore important for you to put the question before your child, whether he or she will be interested to be book smart or street smart as well. Being book smart means the person is intelligent, and being street smart means the person has an economic venture that puts him on the street in order to earn a living. Entrepreneurship tip number 4. Our schooling system is geared towards professional professions. Mathematics is important, Mike. But why is it important, Mom? Because I say so. Our Nigerian kids are unfortunately faced with the reality that our quality of schooling has deteriorated over the past years, and that we have reached a point of being compared to the worst rates and levels of education in the world. This is because the emphasis in our tertiary institutions is cognitive driven, without a compensating match with psychomotor performances of their learning. So it is important that when we train our students and give them education, we must have a balance between the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor domains, so that they will be able to translate smoothly the entrepreneurship knowledge gained in class with entrepreneurial practice that is required in the field. Entrepreneurship tip number 5. Entrepreneurship is much more than just starting your own business. It is fundamentally about the desire and internal need to solve problems creatively. So students, the young ones must be put on the know that the focus of entrepreneurship is to solve problems. And therefore, if they become successful entrepreneurs, they will find themselves in position to solve problems of the society. And that will be their own value to the society and to national development. When exposing your children to new experiences, focus on activities that will instill the desire and potential to create and innovate them. To create and innovate, dream and imagine, and always challenge and improve the status quo. In the course of this lecture, and in line with our instructional objectives, we were able to explain how to encourage entrepreneurial spirit among the young generation. Please support us by 1. Following us on our Facebook page, Online School of Entrepreneurship. 2. Subscribing to our YouTube channel, Entrepreneurship Teacher. And 3. Liking, commenting, and sharing our post. Thank you, and see you in our next lecture.